Aloha, welcome to BeaDazzle Hawaii. Today we're going to make an oval teardrop frame. Working with 18 gauge wire. This one measures 4 inches. I'm going to start by making my loops with my 3-step plier. The first step, I'm going to grasp the tip of the wire and just roll it around until the tip of the wire touches to make a simple loop. Then I'm going to reposition my plier right next to that loop I've already made, the inside. I'm going to roll the long piece of wire around and across. Now, it's not quite balanced, so I'm going to reposition my plier inside. I'm going to roll a little bit more so that my wire is pretty balanced right in the center. Okay. Now I'm using an oval shaped mandrel, and we've put some numbers on here so it'll be easier to go back to the correct size I'm working with, and I've already worked with the 8th step to make the other part of the pear. So what I do is find the center top of my step. I'm going to place the wire, the figure 8, right up against it, and the wire's leaning against that edge of the step. Holding really tight with my thumb, I'm going to wind the wire around, shape it nice and tight, get back to my loops, and cross over a little bit. And I'm going to release. So you'll notice that it sprang back a little bit. We're going to shape and work with this wire a little more so that it matches the other one. See how narrow that one is right now. So what I'm going to do is work it a little. We're going to hammer it too, so it's going to pull out again, but I just want a general shape of what I'm going to be expected to have at the end. So now you notice our loops are sticking out right now. That's okay. Right. I'm going to move this out of the way actually and use a nylon gel plier and just flatten out those loops. I want my open loop, the first loop we made, down inside the finding, and the closed loop is going to hang the ear wire. And it's not going to be perfect yet. We're still going to be making some modifications. This is my cute little anvil, my chasing hammer. I'm going to move that loose wire back again to get that general oval shape. If you have to, put it back on the mandrel and reshape it at any time. Okay, so I use the center of my anvil, the center of my hammer, and I'm just going to tap close to the loops but not on the loops, and go all the way around to flatten the wire and harden it, make it stronger so it'll keep its shape. And then this one, I've also used the round ball end to give it a little texture and a little shine. It's kind of like a faceting. Just going around. notice again it's still not quite the shape we want. I'm going to hold it over the mandrel again. Push those loops out of the way. And I don't need to go all the way down to the same step. I'm at the 7th step now, and I'm just shaping that bottom part, squeezing it around. So we're a little bit closer to the correct shape. The same width at the bottom. And you'll notice it's a little more egg-shaped. So I'm going to use my nylon plier, just give it a little squeeze to get that egg shape on top. And again, push back my loops to get them straight. And that's about the shape we want. So now's the time. I'm going to check the back, and I'm going to clip my loose end with my wire nippers very close to where it's crossing. I'm going to rock it back and forth so that that loose end is just going to lay right at the back, and you can barely tell that it's not connected. And put it on my anvil and make sure it's all flat. You can look at the sides. There's a little bit of a curve in the wire because we were hammering, so you want to check that and correct it. And there's our finding. So now I'm going to add a hanging loop to our top drill briolet. This is a very simple one. This is 22 gauge wire. I use a plier to bend the tip a little less than a 1/4 inch. It's going to end up being in a triangle shape. So that's the start. I string my crystal on, and this has an AB finish, so there's a front and a back to it. So I'm going to check it. My first one has the AB finish in the back, so it shows through. So I'll do the same thing with this. Then I make sure the crystal's dropped all the way down to where it's bent, and then very gently bend the long wire until it crosses the other. It makes that triangle shape. And I want to check to see how far down we're going. It's a little bit long, so I'm going to clip the short wire, bring them together again. I think that's going to work. So now I'm going to take my plier, pinch real close to the short end, and center that long wire right over the top of the crystal so it hangs nicely. And I only need about a 1/4 inch to make a simple loop. So I clip it off. Using my 3-step plier again, the front step, just going to roll down, and then when I get to the bottom, I rock it back and forth to center it right over the crystal. So that's the side view of your crystal. And then I'm going to open that loop, add it to my open loop at the bottom. Close it up. And sometimes you have to make an adjustment for the direction of that loop to make sure it hangs straight. So you want to check the angle of your triangle, the angle of that little loop on top of the triangle, and then also your finding loop. This one's open a little bit. I'm going to close it up. And now I can add my ear wire. This is already open a little bit, but the 80 gauge wire is thick, so I'm going to open it wider. Add the ear wire. Squeeze it closed. And there's my matching pair of oval frame teardrops. All these materials and the tools are available at BeaDazzle Hawaii. Thank you.